Hey folks, how are we doing? So happy Food Chain Friday. So the meta right now is overrun with Delver, and then you also see some decks like Initiative and Goblins. You know, maybe the occasional control deck or combo deck, but mostly Delver. And so Food Chain should have a positive matchup against Delver. As long as Questing Druid is around, I think that Food Chain should be good. Although I think the deck is challenging to play compared to Delver, where you just, beat your opponent down and then, use days correctly. All right, so compared to the stock list, we're doing a few minor changes. So I've cut the third Misthollow Griffin for the 20th land. And so I'm playing 2 extra Wooded Foothills over the stock list. Not playing Prismatic Vista, because I think that card is garbage. And yeah, so I'll replace that with a Wooded Foothills and then a Misthollow Griffin with a Wooded Foothills. I think that we really just need to make our land drops. And then in the sideboard, what I've done is I've switched Force of Negation for Flusterstorm, and I've switched Mindbreak Trap for the second Veil of Summer. And so the thing about the Delver matchup is you want to bring in Uro, Endurance, Carpet of Flowers, and Pyroblast. There really isn't room for Flusterstorm. And then Veil of Summer already kind of does the Flusterstorm effect. And then I wanted the second Veil of Summer because against like blue-black scam, it's a matchup where Orcish Bowmaster is a problem, but I don't think that you really want Fury because Orcish Bowmaster is pretty much the only thing that you can target. So against that kind of deck, I think Veil of Summer is good. So we still have a bunch of protection from the Orcish Bowmasters between the Bolt and the Veil of Summer. And then Veil of Summer is another trump card against combo, in addition to these Force of Negations. So I think that makes the sideboard a little bit more balanced. And then hopefully with these 20 lands, we'll make our land drops. I mean, the deck just needs to make its land drops, unlike Delver, which can survive on 1 or 2 lands. All right, let's do it. All right, we're on the draw for game 1, and this is a keepable hand. We have some good cards here. Lands and spells and Force of Will. Basic Mountain from the opponent. So this could be one of those stompy decks, and I'm inclined to believe that that kind of thing is a favorable matchup. So all right, I'm going to play out the Scalding Tarn. I kind of hope that they play a Moon effect here, and then I can fetch a basic island. And then my tropical island can be the red source that I need. Now, if they don't... they don't play the Moon effect, this could be a little interesting. Okay, so they're up to 4 mana, so we're probably going to get an initiative guy here. And it is a seasoned Dungeoneer. Can't stop it because of the Cavernous Souls on human there. It is uncounterable, and they have the initiative. So this means they're probably not on a Blood Moon effect. So we're going to be racing to win here. So I think I'm actually going to fetch Volcanic Island, and we're probably playing just Questing Druid. But the thing is we're a card short of the combo here. We need to draw like a Misthollow Griffin or a Walking Ballista or another Imperial Recruiter to win on turn 3. Okay, well, a Fury, that's like an essential piece of the combo here. Okay, so I could Questing Druid this turn, and then Fury the Seasoned Dungeoneer. Alternatively, I could wait until next turn. And I could like play the Questing Druid this turn. Next turn, play the Food Chain. I think I just have to Fury the Seasoned Dungeoneer here. But alternatively, if I play the Questing Druid and pass, like we're gonna be aiming to win next turn. And so I think the best I can do is play a giant Hydroid Krasis. Well, I don't have another red card to pitch to Fury anyway. Well, no. Because if I play Questing Druid this turn, then I play Food Chain next turn, then I sacrifice the Questing Druid to the Food Chain, play Imperial Recruiter to get Squee, then sacrifice the Fury, the Squee to Fury, but then I don't have any kind of payoff though. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna Questing Druid and Fury the Seasoned Engineer here. I think it's the best play that I have. So hopefully the next spell they want to play is not a human and I can Force of Will it and take back the initiative here. That's what we're hoping for. So they are scrying 2, which indicates they probably don't have an immediate follow-up. I guess you'd always scry 2 because there's nothing to forge. Unless you really wanted to go down the trap line on the dungeon. Well, hopefully, so they scried 1 to the top and 1 to the bottom. Hopefully it's not just another Seasoned Dungeoneer, but it looks like it is. I cannot counter. Okay, well, it's a human that I can't counter. Another food chain. Well, I'm gonna play the food chain. Pass. So they get to go into the creepy skeleton there. Alright, so they're gonna get in for 5, and I think I just have to take it. Here's an Archon of Emeria that I'm gonna force. I'll grow the Questing Druid. Hydroid Krasis. Well, I can exile the Questing Druid and get to 6 mana and have a 4/4 Hydroid Krasis and draw 2 cards. I don't really think I'm winning anyway, is the thing. So I think it's the old Hail Mary. Do this to draw 2 cards. I just don't think it's going to get any better, sadly. Maybe there'll be 2 really good cards. Well, Misthollow Griffin is kind of a piece of the puzzle. This thing does have flying, but they do have the Throne of the Dead here. So I'm going to take 9 here. I mean, I guess if I survive this turn... Oh. Well, this needs to attack to use its boast. Looks like they have something else. A Solitude. Okay. Well, that at least gains me some life. I'm living through the turn. And so... Oh, this thing does have haste. Right. That's just a natural ability. So I'm taking 14, and then... They can just pitch the Solitude to deal 5, right? That is just what they do. Okay. Well, we just cannot win that one on the draw there. I think it's going to be just no changes here. I want my combo pieces. Uro's pretty slow. Magus the Moon would turn off the Cavern. I don't really think it's worth cutting any of the card effects. Any of the cards in my main deck to try to make that happen. Like a Collector Ouphe or a Force of Vigor might slow them down, but... Alright, we'll just try to do better on the play here. I mean, this hand, I would say, is okay. I'll get the Volcanic Island. I don't think the Red-White Initiative plays any Moon effects. So this has a Questing Druid. We're probably playing Ice-Fang next turn. The thing I really just need here is like a food chain because we have all the ingredients. Except for a third land and the food chain. I think I'm okay shuffling. Alright, here's a Chrome Mox. And maybe the Ouphe is worth bringing in. So they're going for the Archon here. Alright, well we have answers to that, albeit none of them right now. And we'll just do this on our turn. Okay, so we have the Fury. But we are short a land and a food chain. Alright, they're going to get in for 2. I'm not going to block. They're passing it back. Okay, so we can just go ahead and Fury the Archon here. And they're going to Swords to Plowshares my Ice-Fang in response. Sure. And we're going to ponder for another land here. Force of Will. That's probably worth drawing this turn. Here's a Fable of the Mirror Breaker. I think I will go ahead and force that. Scalding Tarn. So I think I'm just gonna recruit for an Ice-Fang here. Yeah, that seems fine. I mean, we already have the way to go infinite with Misthollow in exile. Alright, they've got another Cavern. And a Seasoned Dungeoneer. Well, a food chain would win the game here if we could just find a copy of that. So I'll start off with a Brainstorm and look for that food chain. We don't get there. I mean, at least this Ice-Fang Coatl is going to have Death Touch, but this thing usually has protection from creatures. Yeah, it sure is going to. Alright, so they did go into the Lost Well. They're going to attack for 3 here and get their Explore on. I can't block it with an Ice-Fang because it has protection from creatures. Go to 12. Another Fable. And once again, going to be praying for a food chain. Not a food chain. Do I want to lightning bolt this shaman right now? I guess it can wait. I mean, the thing I'm missing out is like playing a Misthollow Griffin. Alright, I guess I'll just do it now. But if I found like a Fury, I could... Now, I don't have the means to pitch cast Fury anyway. But I'd be able to like deal... Yeah, I could deal 2 and 2 with a Fury and then finish off the Seasoned Dungeoneer with a Lightning Bolt. Wooded Foothills. Well, I'm going to attack. In my library. I guess I'll play the Ice-Fang. I mean, there's a chance I could draw the food chain here. We're lagging though. Okay, Magic Online figured it out here. Food chain. Not a food chain. Bummer. Okay. Well, they at least don't have the initiative on their turn to start with. So they don't get the like benefits of being in the initiative till after combat, which I guess if they're just going into the stash or the arena, it doesn't matter too much. They're gonna get in here for 4 and I can't do anything, or 5. So I got like one more turn here to find a food chain. Sure would be nice. They're goading my Imperial Recruiter. Okay. Alright, well, we got 2 more looks at this food chain. Let's get a Tropical Island. Play the Ice-Fang. Show me a food chain. No. Alright, deck. Show me a food chain. Fury. Well, that's not gonna do it, huh? Yeah, I mean, this, Fury just can't kill Seasoned Engineer. We have ourselves a Solitude. They're gonna block the Imperial Recruiter. And if only I had found a food chain. I guess the Lost Well here is where we want to be. Well, there's the food chain. So I can draw a card off the Krasis, and that's the food chain. But then I just don't think I can win the game at all. I would need to pay 4 mana to draw 1 card off the Krasis anyway, and then there's just nothing I can do, sadly. I mean, I guess maybe... like, maybe they don't hit and I go to 1 on the Seasoned Engineer attack. But I guess it's not quite over. So they just need to hit an Explore here, right? Yeah, okay. And I can't block with the Fury and I'm dead. Well, we just cannot find a food chain within a whole bunch of cards. Bummer. Alright, I guess this is a pretty questionable hand on the draw. I mean, it has a Fury going on, and that's like it. Well, if it is Delver, probably okay. I guess this hand is pretty weak. And we get rewarded with a no-lander. This hand plays Magic, so I guess I can't complain. Put back the Tropical Island and an Ice-Fang. Dragon's Rage from the opponent. So we're up against Delver. Doing a little Surveil and a Bobble. Wander into the graveyard. Well, I guess the first hand would have been keepable against this kind of matchup. Play Ponder. Alright, well, these are cards. Alright, I don't know how likely it is we actually get to get a food chain through here on our mulligan to 5. But I suppose it's worth a shot. A Portent from the opponent. They're targeting themselves. Okay. They do have the option to target me and try to rearrange my library. They are a little stuck on mana. I'm probably going to be playing this Ice-Fang around days, and that lets me draw the food chain also. They attack for 3 here. And it's a Delver of Secrets. I guess I'll let that one go. Another Dragon's Rage. Well, I guess I am inclined to try to force this thing. Alright, the force resolves. Maybe I should have just shuffled the food chain away because we're not really going to have the resources here to be playing food chain. I don't know. We'll see how this attack goes. I mean, maybe they don't have Lightning Bolt. If I get to block the Dragon's Rage Channeler and make this trade, that would be exciting. Alright, well, the Coatl's in. We'll go to blocks. Alright, the block is happening. So we at least, if they Lightning Bolt it now, we're not going to take the 3 points of damage. And then we'll shuffle, or get the mountain to give our Ice-Fang Death Touch. And we only take 1. If they have Murky Reach here, it's going to be rough. Alright, it's just another Delver though, so I guess it could be worse. So what does the opponent have? They had no interaction for any of that. That's not what I would have expected. Well, I guess I'm going to slam the food chain. Could slam the Recruiter. That doesn't really seem better. Alright, the food chain is in. If these Delvers don't flip, we may have a shot here. This Mully to 5. Well, the Delver's not flipping, so they haven't had Force of Will so far. Okay, but now they're gonna seek the Beast and try to clear the top of their library. So they exile Wasteland and Volcanic Island. So we're probably gonna get our Tropical Island wastelanded. So maybe they've just been sitting on days the whole time, and we'll need to draw another land if we're gonna try to get this Imperial Recruiter in around days. I suppose we could draw any creature that costs 2 that would also beat days, because we could just pitch it to the food chain. We do find the land though. So we're gonna win here if they don't have Force of Will. It looks like we're in. We get Squee the Immortal. And alright, I'm gonna be making some mana here. I'll be back. Okay, so I went down to 20 on the clock, and now I'm just gonna make a giant Hydroid Krasis and hope that this is good enough. So yeah, we're just juicing the Krasis. 20. Okay. Alright, so I guess I'm just gonna do a few more things here. We'll get some Ice-Fangs into play. And I would expect that's all good enough to win. I could go infinite with a Questing Druid. Well, I've done the thing where I've locked myself out of Squee mana here. But we're going to have a bunch of Questing or Ice-Fangs in play here, which I think will be pretty hard for our opponent to beat. I guess I'll just try to... Oh, man, I can't Lightning Bolt. Okay, well, I think that this board position will do. And we'll just discard some extra lands here, an extra food chain. Okay. Alright, their Delvers do flip off of Brainstorm. They're brainstorming. They're cracking that Delta. And it's a portent. Alright, well, we're going to be able to beat this then. We can just bolt the Insectile Aberration several times. And we won't need to go infinite too much more here. Well, let's bolt an Insectile Aberration. Bolt another Insectile Aberration. Alright, there's a concession. Okay. So yeah, we just get to run the sideboard plan here, which I'm pretty happy with. We're gonna board out the Force of Wills, the Misthollows. Alright, I'm gonna board out a Food Chain and then a Questing Druid for the last two cards. I mean, Fury pretty good on the draw here when they have like a wave of Delvers and Dragon's Rage. Questing Druid, I mean, Ice-Fang Coatl is really good in this matchup. If it was a Bowmaster matchup, you know, maybe I would do something a bit different there. But Ice-Fang also, yeah, pretty good here. Alright, well, we're getting the old one-lander again. I'm gonna mulligan. Alright, a two-lander. Exciting stuff. So I'm gonna keep here and throw back an extra Uro. Turn one Ponder for the opponent. That's fine with me. Alright, I'm gonna play this Scalding Tarn so that we can potentially fetch for a basic mountain and Lightning Bolt or Pyroblast something. A Delver of Secrets. Okay. Well, I'm in no rush to play into Daze here, so I'm just gonna hold up. And another Ponder. Okay. This Delver is probably going to flip then, since they can set up the top of their library. Alright, we draw an Ice-Fang. That's not terrible. Gonna play the Misty. I guess I will just Lightning Bolt the Delver right now. I guess I will get the basic mountain. I mean, I want to play this Pyroblast and not get wastelanded off of it. And the Seek the Beast as well. Alright, it's another Delver. That's okay. Another land would be a great draw here. That's okay. So I think I'm going to Seek the Beast on the end step. The other option is to play Uro into Daze. And Seek the Beast is more likely to find me lands. So I think I'm fine with that. I mean, Uro gets one look at a land, and this is like a couple looks. We find no lands. Bummer. Okay. Alright, I guess I'm gonna hold up here. I mean, I could play the Lightning Bolt right now. What I want to know is if they're gonna have Wasteland or not. If they don't have Wasteland, then I might just get a Volcanic Island here. If they do have Wasteland, maybe I need to get like another Tropical Island. Alright, Insectile Aberration is flipped. Getting in for 3. If it's no Wasteland, I probably am just going to bolt this on the end step here and accept the Daze. Another Delver. Well, now I'm interested in using the Fury. Alright, but if they Daze this, I'm fine. This Lightning Bolt's like a free card. Okay, they don't have Daze. I think I rushed this Lightning Bolt. Because they could still play Wasteland here. Alright, they do shuffle, and they don't play Wasteland, so I'm in the clear. Okay, so I could jam Uro. I think I need to play this Ponder, right? That needs to happen. ASA and P. All right, these are lands, so that's exciting. Okay, so if they don't have Daze, but they might have found it off that Ponder, but we're gonna Uro here. Then we get to draw the land on top of our library and put it into play. All right, so we're getting this Uro trigger. That's always exciting. And I guess I'm just gonna pass. All right, so there's a Daze. So we'll take some damage here. A Grafdigger's Cage. Well, that's gonna stop my Uro. I can't stop it, so I mean, yeah, we'll live with that. All right, on my turn though, I'm gonna play the Questing Druid. Play the Ice-Fang. All right, they're gonna bolt the Questing Druid in response. That's fine. Ice-Fang, I would say, is in. It is in. Another Uro. Okay. We know they have Daze, so I'm not going to take any action here. I mean, the Grafdigger's Cage is going to make the second Uro here not good, but it still replaces itself and gains 3 life, so that's not too bad. Okay, so they don't attack with the Ice-Fang, so maybe they don't realize that it doesn't have Death Touch. There's a food chain. I'm going to play Ponder here. Imperial Recruiter. Well, that is good with the food chain. I think I'm going to take the Brainstorm. I'll go ahead and do the Brainstorm. I just want to set up so that I can play this food chain and Pyroblast their counterspell and not walk into Daze. I'll get rid of the extra Uro. I guess we kind of want both of these recruiters. We need them for the combo. I could fire off a recruiter right now for Squee. I guess that seems okay. So we can get Island and Forest. Then play an Imperial Recruiter here and get this. Okay, I guess I have to leave out the Tropical line. All right, they do use a Force of Will on the Recruiter. That's okay. We're gonna be able to like just recruit for the Krasis again, I think. I'm not too worried about it if yeah. Like we can get a bunch of mana thanks to Fury. All right, they don't want to make that trade. I might not have actually done it because we want it for this food chain turn here. But let's slam this food chain. All right, there's the other force. Counter the spell if it's blue. And then we should be in the clear here. Exile the Ice-Fang. Play the Imperial Recruiter. And they're ready to concede. So I guess what I would have done there is chain together some recruiters. Each one would be worth an extra mana. And then I probably would have gotten a Hydroid Krasis as the last one. And then we would have been able to play Fury and take out the Insectile Aberration and then play like a reasonably large Hydroid Krasis, I think that would have been fine. On the draw for round 3, we got a nice mixture of lands and spells and Force of Wills here. So yeah, I'm going to keep, and it looks like yet another Delver Mirror. Well, I guess it's not a mirror, it's a Delver matchup, isn't it? I guess I'll just play out the Scalding Tarn here and pass. Ooh, my opponent's trying to climb the beanstalk here. This might be worth Force of Willing. I'll let them do their Surveil. Yeah, I'd say we probably do need to force this thing. They're going for a Daze here. I'm gonna fetch my basic island. Alright, we're gonna pay for Daze. And presumably they have another Daze. No, it's the old Daze for no reason that you see on Magic Online from time to time. Okay. Well, I admire their courage to just slam Daze out there. So they probably don't have another Daze, and that makes me just want to slam the Ice-Fang right now. Unless they had a second Daze but forgot what they were doing. No, they do not. Okay. Alright, there's a bolt on my Ice-Fang. And this will probably give the DRC Delirium. No, it looks like it's not going to. Okay. So we're down to 15 here. Alright. I'm gonna play a Ponder. We're looking for a third land. We find that. I mean, I have to draw the land. It would be nice to have that Misthollow in hand to pitch to Force of Will, but I suppose we're pitching Force of Will to Force of Will anyway. What I could do here is play the Walking Ballista for and just pick off the Dragon's Rage. You know, I think I actually don't hate that. Alright, it's in there. I am just gonna kill this DRC right now. Well, maybe they'll get Delirium in response. We need to hit... Okay, they do hit the Delirium. Alright. Well, maybe that wasn't the best play then. Alright, my 1 point of damage is in vain. Maybe that trades for the Daze there that did nothing. Alright, Polluted Delta. And a Hooting Mandrills. Do I want to try to force this thing? I guess so. We'll see if they have another Daze. Alright, that was successfully countered. Seems like good news. So we know that there's a Misthollow Griffin on top of my deck. I think I am going to Brainstorm now. Like, if we miss on a third land, get this Ice-Fang down. Well, fourth land. I mean, I want to play the Ice-Fang with the Death Touch anyway. Okay, we got there. Good news, everyone. Okay. So now we can ninja out the Ice-Fang to block the Dragon's Rage. And we'll go from there. Ponder from the opponent. We chose not to shuffle. Mandatory attack. Play the Ice-Fang. It's in. Draw the card. Looks like no Lightning Bolt. Kill the Dragon's Rage. Another Dragon's Rage. Okay. Alright, what do I want to do here? Well, I could just play the Misthollow Griffin to block the Dragon's Rage. The other option is to like recruit for like a Questing Druid or another Ice-Fang Coatl. The Misthollow Griffin certainly plays around days. I guess I'm just gonna jam the Misthollow here. Alright, Misthollow is in. Brainstorm from the opponent. Looks like they're playing a big ol' Murky Reed. Oh, it's a Magmatic Sinkhole. Fair enough. So that'll take out the Misthollow Griffin. Going down to 8. A Food Chain. Well, that's a good draw. Play the Food Chain. They do have the Force of Will, though. They kept the card on top. We're going to 5. Okay. Well, I'm gonna Lightning Bolt the DRC. Have a Brainstorm. And they did surveil Misty Rainforest into the graveyard. Alright. Then we're gonna Imperial Recruiter. And it's a question of, do I want Ice-Fang Coatl or the Questing Druid? So I went with Questing Druid. They don't immediately have another creature here. The Questing Druid certainly seems better. I mean, it can go off with Food Chain on its own, kinda. It looks like they do have a Murktide, though. So maybe I, got too clever here. Okay. Well, I'm gonna take the opportunity to try to right my sins here and recruit for an Ice-Fang. And we're gonna hope that once again, they don't have another daze. Okay. Alright, are we dead? Alright, they're tapping mana, and they have a Petty Theft. Okay, so we're dead to the Murky Reach. And there it is. Okay. So in this matchup, they don't spam Delvers, so I think Fury is definitely worse. It's just Dragon's Rage, and Endurance is pretty good against the Dragon's Rage. So I could spam like Magus of the Moon, or just run like a Force of Will or a Veil of Summer in the last slot. I guess I don't think they'll see the Magus of the Moon coming, and we'll give that a shot. Alright, on the play. I think I can keep a hand like this. There's really not much chance that I Pyroblast anything on turn 1, although it's still technically an option in playing the Scalding Tarn. But I most certainly want to get a basic island here off the Tarn. And then start seeking the beast. There's a Dragon's Rage. Good turn 1 play. Alright, another land is not bad. I think I am just gonna seek the beast on my end step here, and we'll see if they have the daze. We get, the snow-covered island, seek the beast. Alright, we find a land and a food chain. Brainstorm from the opponent. They did put Misty into the graveyard. They play Scalding Tarn and crack it. And it's a Ponder. And they surveil Murky Reach into the graveyard. Alright, so their boy is delirious. So I could play the Misty Rainforest from hand. And that lets me get basics down, which is probably important. Or I could get the card advantage from the food chain. I think I'm actually more concerned about just having the basics and not getting wastelanded. Let us play the food chain. Alright, food chain's in. All right, another Volcanic Island for the opponent. They attack for 3. We're going to be down to 12 here. All right, they're passing it back. We drew our last basic land. Well, I would not hate having this Questing Druid in play. Does mean that I can't seek the beast in my end step around days. I guess I'm gonna have to play the Questing Druid and have them burn some resources on it. Alright, Druid's in there. Alright, they've got a tropical island in play. Here's a lightning bolt targeting the Questing Druid. It's better than it targeting my head. Alright, they're gonna get in for 3 here. We did Surveil Hooting Mandrills into the graveyard off that lightning bolt. Here's an Up the Beanstalk that I cannot answer, so that'll have to resolve. So Imperial Recruiter or something would be a nice draw here. Okay, Ponder, I can accept. And there's the Imperial Recruiter in the Hydroid Krasis. Okay. Well, I have to take the Recruiter. Play Misty. And I'm gonna jam the Recruiter here. The Recruiter's in. That's interesting. I can get Squee, the Immortal. I think I want this, well, I guess I'm just gonna have to pass the turn here. I mean, I could in theory play the Questing Druid. Could go try to go infinite with Squee and Questing Druid. I mean, it does fold to... They have, like, days. I mean, I guess this plays around days. They need to have, like, days and Force of Will. Maybe I should just go for it, then. Alright, I think I am gonna go for it. And I guess this folds to Lightning Bolt too, huh? Well, I'm committed here. I just don't have that much life to noodle around with, is the thing about waiting. Alright. So is this Questing Druid going to get countered? Is not. Going to be Lightning Bolted. Seems like it's not going to be. Oh, okay. Here's the Lightning Bolt. Well, at least it's not going at my head. But yeah, my options are limited by my 9 life here, sadly. We got a lot of good draws, like Uro or another Imperial Recruiter. Draw the Ballista. But yeah, we gotta draw something, though. Alright, we're going to 6. Alright, so it's gonna be yield, fetch to thin here. Try not to draw a land. So the opponent's sacrificing their Scalding Tarn in response. They're gonna petty theft the food chain, okay? I mean, I could red blast this, but it doesn't matter too much if I just draw like a creature. I'd rather like red blast the Force of Will. We drew the Ballista. Okay, so let's replay the food chain. Here's the Force of Negation. Here's the Pyroblast. Alright, Food Chain would seem to be in. They didn't Lightning Bolt Squee in response. Alright. So I'm going to make mana and then Walking Ballista them. So we'll be back. Okay, the opponent agreed to concede in exchange for seeing the Ballista, and then they actually conceded. So that was, I appreciate that. Alright, on the draw for game 3. Magus of the Moon was probably dumb. And then 2 food chains is like a lot. Or, I mean, 4 food chains. We were crazily food chain flooded that game. So I'm inclined to bring in the Furies here. I mean, it can kill a Hooting Mandrills. Another option would be these Veils of Summer. I'm just going to roll the Furies. Alright, so we've got a hand here with Lightning Bolt. And Ice-Fang Coatl, Imperial Recruiter, and Uro. These are all things that, I like to see. They did nothing on turn 1, so I feel like they're about to jam a turn 2 Beanstalk, and that's going to be good. But we are able to generate value on our end. Okay, they did not turn 2 Beanstalk. Ooh, here's a Carpet. That's a bomb. Carpet's in. Okay. So I think I'm gonna make... I guess I'm gonna make green. And I need to get this Ice-Fang Coatl down this turn, I think. I mean, I guess I could get a Volcanic Island here. Sorry about the Siren if that comes through. Yeah, I think I'm gonna want basic lands here at some point. But I guess the Ice-Fang is a long way off. Alright, I'm just gonna get Volcanic Island and make green. And that gets a red blast from the opponent. Fair enough. Brainstorm from the opponent. And another Brainstorm. So I'm looking at playing this Endurance then probably on my turn. The other option would be Uro. If I could draw a land though, I can Endurance and then Seek the Beast through days. Don't get that though. Well, I'm gonna start with this here Endurance and see how that goes. Oh, they only have 2 lands in play. Alright, so we're just doing the Endurance. So Endurance is in. Target the opponent. So they now have no graveyard. Up the Beanstalk from the opponent. I can't stop it. They are still stuck on lands though, and they're passing it back. Another Carpet. Okay, so I'm gonna decline here. Play a Carpet of another Carpet here. I guess they could have Force. They don't. Get in for 3. Well, I'll use the... We'll do a blue and a green. Play the Mighty Uro. Guess I'll hold up a green mana. Alright, so Uro happens. Maybe we can ponder into a land finally. We brick on lands. It's unfortunate. I think this has to be a shuffle. Still brick on land. Okay. I mean, we do have the Carpets. But I would like to see my 3rd land. Turn to nature on the old Uro. Fair enough. Better that than my Carpets, I think. Finally got there on the land. That is exciting. Alright, let's, we're gonna recruit for something, right? Let's make red. And make blue. Let's go ahead and recruit. I guess I'm probably just gonna get an Ice-Fang here. I could just get a Questing Druid. I mean, Ice-Fang is so far from doing its thing. I have a Questing Druid already. Alright, I'll just get Ice-Fang. Play the Ice-Fang. Alright, so Ice-Fang happens. We're drawing a Ponder. Playing Ponder. Find a Krasis, a Brainstorm, and a Fury. I'll want the Krasis for later. And attack for 3. So I feel like my opponent must have a bunch of like Hooting Mandrills and Murktide Regents in their hand. And not any Force of Wills. Otherwise, I don't know what they're doing. So I think those would be logical explanations. They get Taiga off this fetch, which does, you know, not juice the carpet, so that's probably a good choice. They tapped some mana and then took it back. Okay, it's another Beanstalk. Well, they're going to be drawing some cards here. But I think we can keep up. Okay. I think I'm gonna seek the beast right now and then decline the second trigger. See how this goes. Okay. I guess I knew the Fury was there. But Ponder is a good get. So let's attack. So I'm making green here. I'm gonna play the Questing Druid. Okay, I'm gonna play Ponder. So we'll see now if they have Lightning Bolt here for my Questing Druid. I guess they're just on the straight up nothing over there. So Uro and lands, I mean, that's not terrible. Yeah, let's draw the Woody. Play the Woody. I can't Uro this turn anyway. I guess we can just hold off on this Brainstorm for a second. Alright, here's a Dragon's Rage from the opponent. We're going to be Lightning Bolting this thing in short order. Alright, I'll just do it right now. If they make me shuffle the Uro from the top of my library, then, you know, so be it. Okay, so they have a Force of Will, so they're getting to do their bean thing a bit here. I mean, I think that's fine. I'll still get to draw the Uro. Alright, let's make green, blue. And I think I don't want the card on top of my library, although I don't remember what it is, to be honest. And I'm gonna play the Uro here. That'll grow the Questing Druid. Do I just play the Uro again right now? Probably. Our graveyard really doesn't matter. I can exile anything. And this grows the Questing Druid some more. Okay, so they are dazing. Certainly pay for 1 daze. Yeah, here's the pay. All right, there's the second daze. So that's all cool. So I think we can Fury the Dragon's Rage Channeler and then win this turn. I'm gonna try it at any rate. We can always just reload with a giant Hydroid Krasis if this doesn't work, or I guess probably just burrow. Okay, there's a concession. Alright, this hand seems reasonably well balanced. Gonna keep on the draw here, round 4. Alright, a City of Traders strat from the opponent, a Chalice on 1. I can't do anything about it, but our deck does not care about Chalice on 1 too much, is the good news. Alright, we did not instantly draw a 1-drop after I said that, so that's always good. I guess I'll play the Scalding Tarn. If they're on a Blood Moon strat, then at least I'll have the blue. We have plenty of red cards in hand already. Well, it may be a Blood Moon strat. A Magus of the Moon. Alright, I'm gonna get the island. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to get the green here. We're gonna be just trying to naturally find that forest. Okay, well, we have double blue, so, you know, that is something. Alright, the opponent's on 2 mana. We're going down to 17 here. We have a little bit of time to work with. Like, Fury would be a sweet draw here. That's what I would like to find. And so it's another Chalice on 1 from the opponent. That is okay. Not a Fury. But it's probably okay. I mean, what I could do is recruit here for a Walking Ballista. And that would certainly answer this Magus of the Moon. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, the opponent's on 3 mana. A Blood Moon. Okay. Well, we are not going to be... We're going to need to just find that basic forest at some point. So I'll get the Misthollow Griffin down. That can at least attack in the sky. No attacks. There's a Rabble Master. So that's going to have to be the victim of our Walking Ballista. Although Fury would certainly be a great draw here. Alright, here's a 1/1. Can block it with the Misthollow. Maybe we'll just rip the basic forest. Ooh. Okay. Well, I am going to attack with a Misthollow Griffin. And I am just going to do the Walking Ballista. And take out the Rabble Master. I mean, one thing is if they play that Caves of Chaos Adventure, should be able to get the initiative back. Thanks to Misthollow Griffin, and then I could like fetch a basic forest. Ooh, they do play the Caves of Chaos Adventure. So I think we're gonna be okay. Okay, we're gonna be, so I think that was a bit of a tactical blunder there by the opponent, or, I mean, oh, well, we ripped the basic forest anyway. Now I get to food chain. And I guess I'll take my attack for 3. I'm out of basics to get anyway. Okay. But we get to make a giant Hydroid Krasis, and then we'll probably find Fury and get to finish off their board. We are in my main phase, so yeah, let's exile this for red. Let's start doing the thing here. I guess, alright. I guess I forgot I could just do it with Misthollow, but I guess it doesn't matter too much anyway. I am going to recruit for the Krasis. Alright, I'm going to make a bunch of mana and be back. Okay, so I played out the Questing Druid, and I kept making mana. I got the Misthollow Griffin, and then they were ready to concede. Okay, so I'd like to bring in Force of Negation and Force of Vigor here, but it's a question of what do I want to take out. Maybe I can cut like a Ponder because that costs 1. And maybe like a Questing Druid. Maybe like 2 Ponders and a Questing Druid is fine. We're just reducing the number of cards in our deck that cost 1. And then Questing Druid is like maybe a little clunky against Chalice and Trinisphere. So this hand does have the basics. I guess I'm gonna try it. Alright, the opponent's on the old Ancient Tomb, on to turn 1 Rabblemaster. Well, that could be a problem. So we need to draw Lightning Bolt or Brainstorm into Fury. Food Chain. Okay. Well, we could actually just win on turn 3 potentially. Then we just play Questing Druid next turn and then Food Chain the turn after that. So I guess I'm gonna Brainstorm here. Okay, a bunch of stuff that doesn't help. Alright, so I need to fade Blood Moon here because I didn't get the basic forest out last turn. Another Rabblemaster. Okay, well we're probably just dead next turn then, actually. Take 11. So I could play Questing Druid as like a chump blocker here, and that would maybe help me survive 1 more turn. And I might have a slightly better shot. Because they're gonna have 2 more goblins. So that's 5. No, we're just gonna be dead, right? Because if they're gonna make 2 more goblins. This gets +1/+0 for each other attacking goblin. So it'll be a 7/2. Then we'll be taking 5. Alright, so I just have to go for it with Brainstorm here. And pray to find that that Fury. We'll get the forest, so that's ready to go at least. And we don't get there. Okay, well, we can just concede. Alright, the hand, I could not beat the old double Rabblemaster start. Alright, maybe, I don't know, like maybe I'll just take the Ponder. I mean, Ponder's going to be better on the play. I'll at least have a chance to snap it off. I mean, Force of Vigor hitting Blood Moon could be good. Force of Negation. I mean, Force of Negation just hits the Trinisphere. That otherwise Force of Vigor would just be better. But it's hard to Force of Vigor a Trinisphere. We need 3 mana to do it at any rate. Whereas you can just Force of Negation it on the stack. But if I do it this way, I don't have any answers to resolve Blood Moon. But I always could just search for my basic forest. If the basic forest doesn't play, then Blood Moon really doesn't matter. Alright, I'm just gonna do it like this. Alright. Alright, I'd like to play first. I mean, I think I have to keep. But man, it would be nice to have Fury. I mean, the good news with this hand is that we are protected from Blood Moon. Because if they play Blood Moon, you know, Misty Rainforest becomes the red source. So I'm just going to play Brainstorm and then probably respond to whatever they do. They're doing nothing. I think it probably still is an end of turn Brainstorm here. A lot of Ice-Fangs. And so what do I want here? I guess Taiga. And that can Let me play the Ice-Fang. I mean, I guess I could Seek the Beast, possibly, depending on what happens here. I mean, I guess the better the cards they play, the more I want to play Seek the Beast. Maybe it should just be Seek the Beast, like almost no matter what here. Like, I think if it was the dungeon guy, Goblin Bombardier. If it was the initiative guy, the Ice-Fang could just, you know, get in the sky and attack. I think thing about the Ice-Fang here is we're like one card away. Like if we just hit Food Chain, we need Food Chain and Recruiter. All right, I guess I'm gonna Seek the Beast here. All right, well, we found a Misthollow Griffin. That's a good one to have in exile. I mean, that's definitely a piece of the puzzle. So all we need here is a Food Chain. Brainstorm. All right, I'm gonna play a Questing Druid. Yeah, and then play a Wooded Foothills. And then we can Brainstorm in response to whatever opponent does. Man, we just got to find a Food Chain here, and this game is done. All right. Tapping their city for 2 and playing another land. Another Broadside Bombardier. And so they're probably attacking. I guess I'm going to block, but I think they'll be like sacrificing 1 to kill it. I guess that's okay. It could be worse. All right, we found Food Chain. So that's good news. We'll just put these Ice-Fangs on top. Well, I win if they don't fling anything at the Questing Druid, so maybe I'll just let them do their thing. Fury. Wow, that's good. They're doing the Food Chain thing without the Food Chain here. Now they can fling the Fury at me. Oh, I guess. All right, well, anyway. I'm gonna play a Food Chain. I'm gonna Lightning Bolt a Bombardier. Play a Food Chain. And they need something pretty good to deal 12 damage. I guess another Fury could potentially do it. But that would, so they could pitch that, cast the Fury, and do 7, and then 2 more to me with the attack of the Broadside Bombardier. Because, yeah, sacrificing like a Fury that they pitch would deal like 5 plus 2. Converted mana cost of Fury is 5. That's like 9. So they need 3 more damage on top of something like that. Fable the Mirror Breaker. So I feel like that probably doesn't do it. We take 2 and go to 10 here. Okay, so it looks like we're going to get our revenge against the Stompy decks. So if I play out some Ice-Fangs here, it does insulate me against, yeah, like a Pyroblast. I don't know, Pyroblast is the one thing they could have that would stop this. All right, I think I will just try to play around Pyroblast a little bit here. If I climb up the Food Chain here, I can at least keep like a Lightning Bolt open. I don't know, they probably don't have Pyroblast, but if they do, it's going to be an absolute beating. Okay. Alright, so I'm just gonna make a bunch of mana and then play Walking Ballista, and I'll be back. Alright, so the opponent said that they, wanted me to kill them. And yeah, I shrunk the window to make the clicking easier. And so that is just what we're gonna do. Yeah. Alright. And they can see. Alright, well that was kind of revenge against Stompy there, so after our round 1 loss, so. Alright, playing for 4-1 here. Alright, on the play for round 5, we finally won a die roll. And it's the old 5-lander with Lightning Bolt plus Coatl. Well, assuming that we're against Delver, which like every opponent's on, this hand seems okay. So I'm just gonna run it here. I mean, we do want to make land drops in this deck. Now they've mulliganed to 6, and I'm worried it's Reanimator. Alright, they keep on 6. So maybe that bodes well for this being Delver. Chrome Mox. Alright, it's going to be another Stompy deck, or we have the Epic Storm here, or something like that. Is another Stompy deck. And it's going to be a 3-sphere. Well, I can't do anything about that. Okay. Alright, well the good news is we are not lacking in lands. I guess the land I play here does not matter too much. I do want to be fetching lands in my library. So I guess we're probably getting the Forest Island here. It looks like they're just gonna pass. Alright, well, I'm gonna get the Forest and Mountain. And we'll have the option of maybe blocking an initiative guy. If they had the initiative guy, they would have played it. So they must have like Fury in hand, would be my guess. Alright, well. Just gonna hold up here. Video traders for the opponent. So Kenzon. Alright, they're getting in with some 1/1s. Yeah, we can afford to take some hits from some 1/1s here, so. Gonna play the Ice-Fang. Draw my card. Food Chain, that's a good one. And a Fury. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and ponder here. We just need like an Imperial Recruiter here pretty much to win. So Misthollow Griffin is not bad. But we kind of have mana from Fury anyway. I mean, see, the Brainstorm costs 3. What I really want is like Imperial Recruiter or Hydroid Krasis here. All right, I guess this has to be good enough. Just gonna, I guess I'm not gonna bother attacking with the Ice-Fang. It seems pretty pointless, and they could play a beastie that we want to answer. All right, a Rabble Master. So we're gonna play the Fury next turn then. I'll take 3 here, that's fine. And I guess I'm gonna take the Brainstorm that's on top. We're in this close to the position where we can Brainstorm and then Food Chain in 1 turn and hopefully find everything that we're looking for. So let's get the Fury down. We can extinguish the Rabble Master, some tokens. And I'm sure I'm safe to attack with a Coatl now. All right, yeah, we just need to brainstorm into Recruiter, Ballista, or Hydroid next turn. Shatter Skull smashing, taking out my squad. All right, well, that's pretty good. That makes it harder for me to immediately win. Ice-Fang. Okay. I guess I want to get the food chain down, right? And then if they don't do anything too threatening, I can... Well, I guess I'm probably going to Ice-Fang almost no matter what. Simian Spirit Guide. Well, that is, I would classify, not too threatening. So we go to 10. All right, so here comes the Ice-Fang. There's a Fury. That's at least something to do. Force of Will. All right, so I'm going to try the Brainstorm. We did not get there. Well, Force of Will is mostly useless. I have not played a land this turn, right? So I can at least hard cast the Misthollow Griffin. And we can do some shenanigans here. So we'll end up with a Misthollow Griffin and then Fury in play. Okay, so I made enough mana to Misthollow and keep the Misthollow in play, and then get the Fury into play. And hopefully that's good. And then we got Force of Will after this turn, and Lightning Bolt. I mean, I think that's a pretty good position. Like, if they play a Unlicensed Hearse, okay, I think that's fine. That doesn't matter too much. So we'll swing in for a bunch here. 6, 10. So they're 1 point from death. Oh, and there's a Hydroid Krasis. So we should probably be able to win here. We put them down to 4. And I'm gonna make some mana here and then play this Krasis, and we just need to find one more Lightning Bolt. Alright, I don't want to spend too long doing this because they probably can't beat my Force of Will anyway. So this Krasis is like for like 10 or something. Yeah. I mean, I guess I can just make sure nothing happens here and recruit for the Walking Ballista. So I'll Lightning Bolt their head. Okay, alright. Alright, so I think that boarding out some Ponders on the draw worked out okay there. Yeah, I'll just cut a Questing Druid on the draw as well. And we'll run the 3 crazy forces. But on the play, I'll be trimming down on those force effects, I think. Alright, on the draw. Well, we have a Force of Will. And nothing else. I mean... There are some things that we would want to Force of Will. Like a turn 1 Caves of Chaos Adventure. I mean, I think I'm gonna try it. We just kind of need to survive and draw cards. I mean, we're on the draw here. I think on the play, this would be a definite mulligan. And I'm just going to have to try this on the draw. I mean, there are a bunch of things that we can ignore, although Blood Moon does kind of get us here, doesn't it? But like obviously Chalice I can just ignore. Trinosphere, well, that would be a rough one too, because we just don't get to do anything for several more turns. But they're going in on something over there, and it looks like a Chalice that we can ignore. All right, great. All right, I'm happy. All right, what are we drawing? Is it another land? No, it's a Brainstorm. Well, that pitches to Force, so that's fine. We can counter their next two things, and I'm comfortable with this. They'll need to sacrifice that City of Traders if they want to keep playing things at some point, so I think we're in it. All right, we pass it back to the opponent. What do we got here? All right, a Den of the Bugbear. Goblin Rabble Master. Okay, so I'm gonna force that one, pitching the useless Brainstorm. All right, and I'll fetch my basic forest here, I guess. That part I don't think matters too much because we're just getting the basic island. Or whichever one we didn't get, you know, this turn. Well, we drew Squee the Immortal, so that's maybe not the worst thing in the world. But I won't be able to play it next turn. I don't think I can fetch like a Volcanic Island here and risk getting caught under a Blood Moon. All right, the opponent is just passing it back. Yeah, I'm just going to have to get the basic island and accept that Squee's not going to be in play here. Now, the Recruiter is an interesting draw. So maybe, but probably like Ice-Fang Coatl probably is the get. I could get a Questing Druid. I think I'm gonna play the Recruiter and just get an Ice-Fang. I mean, that seems fine. Yeah. All right, the opponent plays a mountain. They're up to 3 mana, but they're just passing over there. We rip. We do find a Fury. That's not a bad one. Kind of makes me want to keep a Squee in hand to potentially pitch to that Fury. So yeah, I guess I'm not going to play Squee this turn. I'll attack for 1 with the Imperial Recruiter. This guy needs a couple more mana before he gets turned on. Could always just block it with the Ice-Fang anyway. All right. For now, we're holding up Force of Negation and Force of Will. Magus of the Moon. It does not do much here. I'm going to Ice-Fang in response and see what we're drawing. All right. Draw the card. A Walking Ballista. Okay, not bad. I should have fetched a Thin before the draw. Because our lands are all going to be mountains. And, yeah. So anyway, we'll let the Magus happen. All right, Magus is in. So I'm probably just going to be playing Squee here. Unless we rip the food chain. Okay, so we did rip the land here. So I could just play the Fury, but I think I'm going to play the Squee. And we'll know that we have mana later to hardcast Fury, so we don't need to worry about half inning to like pitch cast Fury. And then I'll just attack with the Coatl in the sky here. Coatl's in for 1. And we pass it on back there. Alright, Chromox from the opponent, so we might be entering the dungeon here. As 4 mana would likely indicate a Caves of Chaos Adventurer. Okay, so what they do have is a Fiery Confluence. So is this something that I want to like Force of Will or something? I mean, the Squee just comes back. I think I can just let this happen. They do get me down to 10 here. But I'll replay the Squee. I think that's okay. I think what I'm gonna do here is actually just play the Fury, kill the Magus of the Moon, and start just trying to beat the opponent down here. And, you know, not waste time. Alright, they're attacking for 2, I'm down to 10. Brainstorm, that does not do anything thanks to the Chalice. Yeah, so I'm just gonna play the Fury. Take out the Magus of the Moon. And pass the turn. Alright. Yeah, the opponent's double queuing here. So I just have to get through this final hurdle. Alright, what do we got here? There's the Caves of Chaos Adventure. I'll just force pitching the Brainstorm. Alright, they'll pass it on back. I'm gonna fetch to thin because I can't play Brainstorm through this Chalice of the Void anyway. So there's not much use in saving these fetch lands. Might as well just thin the library and improve my draws. Another. And, okay, well, I'll attack for 6. I guess I'll play the Squee here and hold up Force of Negation. And then we can Walking Ballista for 3 at any point if we so desire. Okay, well, the opponent has a Fury, so that's pretty good. Well, if I can just find Food Chain, you know, we'll win the game. Because we have enough mana to play the Food Chain and then replay Squee from the graveyard. And so it's this question of, like, do I want to play a Walking Ballista now? But then if I do find the Food Chain at long last, I'll be out of luck. Let's see. I have 7 mana. They have another Fury. I just kind of lose. Well, I'm gonna hope they don't have another Fury. Well, they do have their Den of the Bugbear, though. Alright. So, yeah. I mean, I have to find a copy of Food Chain at some point. And it'll have to be next turn. But we'll chump block the Fury here. And take 4. I could almost kill the opponent. If I didn't have to block the Fury, I could attack them for 2 and then finish them off with a Ballista. That is not in the cards. So I'll take 4 here. Alright. It finally happens. Down to 3. I'm gonna fetch to thin and go down to 2. I guess a Taiga would be fine. Alright, please be something. Food Chain. Come on, Food Chain. Alright, we ripped the Food Chain, thankfully. Okay. Unlike our last game against Stompy. So this will be a trivial matter of just making a bunch of mana here. So I'll be back in a second. So maybe I made a mistake in this round when I Fury that Magus of the Moon. I mean, I was thinking in my head about how I'm making their Sokenzon active. Now that could be an issue later down the line. And so I guess that was a little bit greedy. There was the part where I let them wipe my board with Fiery Confluence because it didn't matter. And I think that play was still probably okay. But I could have, if I had held on to that Fury, I just wasn't thinking about how they would have Fury at some point, and I would want to win the Fury War. But in any case, yeah, we're going to have it here. So I'll have it wrapped up in a few more moments. Alright, so I've made an 18-18 here, Walking Ballista. And, whoops, and that should be good enough here. Few more, let's put a couple on the stack. Alright. All right, folks, there you have it. 4-in-1 with Rug Food Chain. Everyone's favorite, not tier 1 deck. Okay, well, that went pretty much how we drew it up, right? We played against White-Red Initiative, Delver, and then Mono-Red Stompy twice, which was like the exact anticipated metagame. And so I guess my thoughts after that match, well, I think the 20th land worked out really well. I think that Misthollow Griffin was pretty much useless in that league. And the thing about this deck is that Fury is a huge mana boost with Food Chain anyway. And so I want to put Uro in the Food Chain, or the Misthollow Griffin slot. And that frees up some space in the sideboard. And so I guess what I was thinking is that like more Hydroblasts might be a good thing. Although there's not going to be that many cards to board out against Delver. But man, the more Pyroblasts and Hydroblast would help in that matchup, and Hydroblast could come in against these crazy red Stompy and Initiative decks as well. So I've got 2 open slots in the sideboard. Force of Vigor did a whole lot of nothing, but I think the Veils and Ouphes and these Force Negations, yeah, we gotta have around. Like Endurance kind of did a whole lot of nothing, so maybe that's a card. Like it's better just to Red Blast Murktide Regent and let them empty their own graveyard rather than trying to do it for them. So maybe like Endurance is a card I don't need to bring in, and that's where I could find some more room for Red Blasts. So I don't quite have it all worked out, but yeah, something like that is what I'm thinking. All right, well, this is what I'm looking at here. So yeah, we cut the Endurances in the sideboard, and so we have like a Fairy Macabre, and then we have the Hydroblast, Pyroblast, and Carpet to bring in against Delver. And so that's 6 cards. So we'd be looking at cutting Force of Will, a Food Chain, and then 1 other random card. And that could be like a Questing Druid or a Walking Ballista or maybe an Ice-Fang. I still have 1 more card in my sideboard here available. So that would be probably either like a second Force of Vigor or a second Fairy Macabre. Yeah. All right. Well, that's it for this Food Chain Friday. I mean, obviously I'm like a tempo player, and this is like a different kind of stretching my brain, but I think it's good for me. But yeah, I mean, there was some imperfections like in the mana tapping and some other things that I noticed as I was playing. But yeah, Food Chain Friday, good fun. I hope you all enjoyed it too. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you for Murktide Monday. All right, have a good one.